Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of the weekly FBA Office Hours, where we chew the digital fat, go over some news and happenings in Amazon and the e-commerce space, and of course answer your questions about tactical arbitrage, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, Amazon, building relationships, and anything and everything else that you might wonder about. So welcome. I'm sorry I am a minute or two late and a little disoriented. I had a microphone malfunction while I was getting ready, and I busted my microphone off my mic stand. So hopefully, this sitting on my desk, you guys can hear me all right. If not, let me know in the comments. Tycoon, what's going on? Yeah, make sure to say hey, guys. And we will get rolling, and we'll go over some stuff tonight. So I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves as much as you can, with the weather getting nicer in most places across the country. And once we get a few more people in here, maybe once we get up to 10 or 15 folks watching, I'll give you guys something for free. It was the same thing I gave away free last week, but I'm going to do it at the beginning, or 2 weeks ago. Do it at the beginning rather than the end, so hopefully more people can grab onto it. Money for Mars over on YouTube. What's going on? Cruz, how's it going? MMK, what's going on tonight? Everybody, I hope everybody's doing well. I'll wait here for a few more minutes and then do the giveaway here. But a little bit of Amazon and e-commerce news. One kind of crazy story. 6 eBay executives and employees have been charged with sending threats, including a bloody pig mask to a couple. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this couple has a fairly popular newsletter. They don't name the name of the newsletter, but I'm sure it's one that if you have sold on Amazon or have sold on eBay, you may have seen it before. But these 6 former eBay executives and employees are now facing federal charges because they were cyber stalking this couple. Sent them a bloody pig mask, a box of live cockroaches, a funeral wreath, and a book on how to deal with your spouse passing away. So kind of a wing to send people, but this newsletter has been willing to be critical of eBay. And what I've read in the past, it's never been anything that is over the top. But what these employees did is definitely over the top. Gabrielle Mendiola, what's going on? Lori, how's it going? Oh, good. We've got 19 people so far. So before I get to some of the other news, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. Some of you may have this, some of you may not, but I created an extension called Does It Melt? And you guys can have that for free. It does take an email so that I can email you some directions on how to get it. But if you go to cleartheshelf.com/DIM for Does It Melt, you can grab that extension absolutely free. It's going to take you to a little landing page and won't cost you a penny. But what it will do, hey, Charles Leslie's in the house, my man. John, what's going on? Does It Melt will let you know if an item is considered meltable. And as you know, right now you cannot send any meltable items into Amazon, not until October anyway. So rather than accidentally buying it and finding out once you go to create a shipment, you can know right ahead of time with a little alert on your screen. So you guys enjoy that, and I'll get back to a little bit of news. Some good news on the retail sales front. In May, retail sales surged ahead 17.7%, which is the biggest monthly jump ever. The forecast was 8% increase, and that is, of course, more than double. Total sales and sales excluding automobiles set records. They said that, of course, food sales easily topped the record of 6.7% increase from October 2001, and beat an 8% estimate by economists surveyed by Dow Jones. And retail sales alone powered 16.8% higher from a month earlier. Clothing and accessory stores reported the biggest percentage gain at 188%, while sporting goods, hobbies, musical instruments, and bookstores rose 88.2%. So that's some good news. And this actually comes out at a time when Amazon released some information today or yesterday, which I found really, really interesting. Normally, about 2% of the traffic on Amazon at any one time is looking for the top 100 search terms on Amazon. During the month of March, however, about 13% of the traffic on Amazon was concentrated on those top 100 search terms. Now, of course, the top 100 search terms change all the time, but we can all guess without Amazon telling us that during March, that traffic was probably concentrated on things like face masks, hand sanitizer, cleaning supplies, and so on. All those things that everybody rushed to get. I'm sure toilet paper was in there as well, as that was hard to find for a while. Now, that number has backed off for April and May. However, 5% of traffic is still looking for the top 100 search terms on Amazon. So it's still double the normal traffic of the top 100 search terms at any one time. They also went on to say that the hygiene category, which includes face masks, hand sanitizer, but also things like razors, hair clippers, and all those other things that you might use for cleanliness and personal hygiene and all of that, is up 200% for April and May compared to the dates prior to March. So they believe that the demand for these types of items is probably going to stay around for a bit. Of course, none of us can prognosticate how long that might be. If there were a cure for coronavirus tomorrow, of course, the retail landscape may completely change overnight. Demand for face mask adjacent supplies, think elastic strapping. There's an item I happened to see on Amazon, which I thought was interesting, which a lot of face masks go over your ears, which I can't stand, but they make these little bands that go around your head where you can strap those things onto the band rather than your ears. But demand for face mask adjacent supplies is up 4,000% compared to the months prior to March. Other categories seeing a marked increase in demand are, of course, cleaning supplies, homeschool items, arts and crafts, children's books, things like outdoor pools, home office items like standing desks, monitors, papers, pens, and other office supplies, which, of course, as sellers, we already knew this because we have supplied a lot of that demand. I know that we've sold a fair amount of webcams over the past couple of months. Now, a return to normalcy for items that you would expect this time of year are rebounding a bit. Grills and barbecue items, swimwear, and those kind of things are seeing their regular seasonal spikes in demand. And of course, Amazon expects this new normal where cleaning supply and homeschool items and all of those things that people need to buy on a regular basis, as well as groceries, of course, they expect people to buy more and more online. So, of course, so hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we can be the supply for those people who want to buy online. And I don't think I outed any one particular thing, but hopefully some of those categories, maybe there are things you don't sell in now that maybe you want to take a look at because there are going to be some profit opportunities there. So those were two things I found pretty interesting. Let's see here. Alex, what's going on? Sheila, how's it going? I've been following for a while on my Fire Stick. No way to leave a comment. Michael, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Charles. I know Charles went hard on the webcams, and it was nice. Sidewalk Chalk was great as well. So I think we sold a couple hundred units of Sidewalk Chalk, all merchant fulfilled, which was not the most fun thing to pack. Some of those were rather large and obtuse to pack. Can we talk about Amazon taxes? Are you filing taxes by quarter or yearly? I file taxes quarterly. I am not a tax professional, so typically I don't really dive into Amazon tax information. If you had a specific question, I can give you my opinion, but that's all it is, and that's always going to be followed up with, you should reach out to a CPA or a tax professional, and interview as many as possible to lower your tax liability as much as you can, as much as you legally can, without getting yourself an all expense paid trip to Club Fed. I am of the mindset that you should pay as little taxes as possible. And as a business owner, there are a lot of great ways that you can do that, but you really need someone to help you make sure that you do that. Or you can nerd out like me and read a lot of the IRS code, which is like watching paint dry, but there are a lot of interesting things that you can find in that IRS code. But yeah, if you guys have questions, please make sure to leave them, and I will answer them as I can. One other interesting thing is that we know that European countries are going after Amazon, Germany in particular, about anti-competitive practices. And California and Washington seem to be hopping on the bandwagon. They're going to be probing how Amazon treats their third-party sellers, especially when it comes to the business practices of Amazon, and how they take data and use that data to create their own products, which a lot of people believe is anti-competitive practices. So this seems to be just in the beginning stages. Of course, we know that the federal government is also looking into Amazon. As a matter of fact, Amazon finally relented and said that Jeff himself will be available to testify in front of a congressional committee. So that will likely be on C-SPAN eventually if it happens, for us to all watch. And hopefully he does a better job than Mr. Zuckerberg did, or his robot counterpart. I'm not sure who was there, to be quite honest. But this should be interesting to see how this plays out, both at the federal level and California and Washington, and see if any other states hop into the fray. Let's see here. Oh, Walmart. Walmart was pulled a surprise move. Of course, we all know that Jet is getting closed down. That was a horrible move on Amazon's part, I think. But the founders of Jet probably got a nice little payday, and they get to walk away and start on whatever's next for them. But Walmart's actually partnering with the platform Shopify. I saw that Shopify was up 5 to 8% the other day after the news came out. Walmart said that it's expecting to add 1,200 Shopify sellers to Walmart.com this year alone. And of course, they're looking for small and medium-sized businesses to bring their products over to the Walmart platform. Doesn't say whether or not they'll try to get them to use Fulfilled by Walmart, or maybe they're just going to add the products to be able to get some more traffic to them, and they will fulfill on their own. But I would imagine if it goes well, that will expand out further. They haven't really talked about what the requirements are to get your Shopify store on Walmart, but it looks like they are probably going after U.S.-based sellers. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know Walmart online sales grew like 70% last quarter. And it'll be interesting to see as they grow their third-party marketplace, which actually outpaced the growth of first-party sales. It's very similar to Amazon's trajectory with third-party sales and first-party sales. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Walmart site and whether, what products get on there. So, and the last thing, let's see here. The last thing I wanted to go over was I saw that there were rumors of the buy box being messed up on Amazon, and it seems that there may have been a point where sellers with the same price were not sharing the buy box. Now this is all anecdotal, and I'm kind of passing off some rumors here, but it seems that buy boxes weren't getting shared unless one seller went significantly lower in price. And there are also some rumors that Repricers and the people behind them reported the same issues related to the buy box via the API. But of course, as of today, it looks like that's been reversed. So if you happen to see that happening, I haven't really taken a close look at the products that I have up listed right now, but I'd be interested to know if you are seeing something similar or if you're not noticing that at all. And then I think that's it. That gets us about 15 minutes in. I would agree, Kyle, that probably is Michelle Clark's fault. Damn her. Let's see. I applied three times topical invoice and picture, and 2 times declined. They told me that picture was unclear. Well, if they told you that the picture was unclear, then I would suggest taking a better picture. That's probably going to be your best bet. If they said that was the only issue, I would make sure that you get a really good picture, clean off your camera lens, take a photo with some good lighting or outdoors. Make sure that you can read what's on the label, because I know that they require you to take a picture with the ingredients and things like that. Make sure you can read that. My wife can't take a steady picture to save her life, so if you need to get someone to help you, I would do that. But if that's the only issue, I would resubmit with a clear picture. That would be pretty good. Joe, what's going on? Thanks for coming in, man. Hey, Chris, thanks for all the great content. Been grinding through your videos the past week or two. Planning on signing up for TA this weekend. Congratulations. Welcome to the Tactical Arbitrage family. I think that you'll enjoy it, especially even going through that content. Hopefully you will get kickstarted pretty quickly. So I didn't plan anything for this evening too much, other than going over some news and answering any questions that you guys have. So again, we can talk tactical arbitrage, we can talk online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, building software, running groups, building relationships, whatever you guys want to talk about, we can chat about. Evening, Christine, what's going on? What do you think about sourcing in China because of the trade war and tariffs? Well, one, I personally, I don't do any private label. I don't deal in that. But one, I think that you just have to deal with it. It's a cost of doing business, and you end up passing that cost off to your customers anyway. Or you could go source in other countries. There are other countries that you can source from, including India and a lot of other places where you can get goods for inexpensive. There are South American countries and things like that. I know people source from there. So don't limit yourself just to China. Yes, China is the manufacturing hub of the world, but there are plenty of other places. I would look at all kinds of developing nations, and you should be able to find some sort of manufacturing and kind of set yourself apart. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and for those of you who weren't here before, if you want, right down over here, you can go to cleartheshelf.com/DIM, and you can grab a free extension called Does It Melt? Does It Melt? Let's see here. Rhonda, I briefly caught mention of a new program you're coming out with in the last online TA Zoom. Can you go over those details? Yes. So as soon as I'm able to get the daggone landing page fixed and ready to go, it's going to be up. It is called the OA Challenge. It is going to be a 14-day online arbitrage intensive. It's going to be for new and intermediate online arbitrageurs. You're going to get a copy of Chris Green's Online Arbitrage 2020 book, which has just been updated. I actually, my copy is in the mail and should be here tomorrow, so I'll be doing an unboxing. And we've got a whole huge stack of cool stuff to go with it. Free extensions, free software trials, a free month of Keepa, which like that doesn't happen, but we ended up pulling it off. I actually have to tip of the hat to Chris Green for being able to pull off a month free of Keepa. Going to be able to get an extended trial to Tactical Arbitrage, and then for 14 days straight, we're going to be going live every single day, going over a new online arbitrage topic in depth. There will be steps that you need to take to make sure that you get things in the right order. It's going to be soup to nuts, get you started with online arbitrage. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I expect we're gonna get a lot of folks in there. It's going to be really, really good. Oh yeah, Charles Leslie, sign up fee waived as well. Yeah, Charles is hooking us up with the prep for anybody who rolls through the online arbitrage challenge. 100 free units, no sign up fee. So like you're going to be able to walk away with a lot more value just in free stuff than it's going to cost you to join. It's not ready yet, Ahmed. It's not ready yet. I have something in my landing page that's broken. I had to hire someone to fix it because I just could not figure it out after 3 straight days of trying to get it fixed. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I have it ready, and I'll be announcing it to the world. And it's gonna be awesome. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy what we're gonna do there. Let's see here. Question: is Tactical Bucket a game changer in OA? So here's what I think about Tactical Bucket. Okay, Tactical Bucket is a bolt-on supercharger for tactical arbitrage. Inside of tactical arbitrage, there are hundreds of sites that you can source. And of course, everyone that is a tactical arbitrage member has the opportunity to source those sites. Now, I can tell you for a fact that only a fraction of the sites that are in tactical arbitrage get sourced on a regular basis. There are lots of little unfished ponds, if you will. However, Tactical Bucket, you get to bolt right on the side, and you can add sites that only a few people have access to. You can add sites that only Tactical Bucket members have access to, which is it's nowhere near as many people as Tactical Arbitrage has. You can also have your own sites built. You can have wholesale XPaths built. You can go in and create these massive bulk lists. So if you just wanted to source beauty items across any store in the XPaths or in Tactical Arbitrage, you can create bulk lists just for beauty categories. And rather than having to go figure out, well, yeah, Sephora and Ulta and Beauty Encounter and Walmart and Target, they all have beauty products, but there might be 50 other stores that do as well. and you can create that. So tactical bucket is absolutely huge, in my opinion. I think that it's well worth any money that you spend on it, as long as you're willing to use it and take a little bit of time to learn it. Hey, Chris, what to do with those suppliers that have websites but no CSV? Is it possible to add them to Tactical Arbitrage? That's a great question, and that's a great follow-up to Tactical Bucket. Tactical Bucket is the only source in the world that can build a XPath for you to a site that is protected behind a login. So if you have a Tactical Bucket account, and you go and ask Javier at Tactical Bucket to build you a wholesale XPath, they can do that, and then just strap that right into Tactical Arbitrage and have the wholesale search behind the login and find all those products for you. Outside of that, there are some manual ways where you can grab all that data and things like that, but it can be time consuming. Chris, what's going on, man? JCPenney started its liquidation sale on 126 stores. I saw that the other day. Go early for 25 to 40% off. Wait for a steeper discount. All of the above or none of the above. So it's going to be all of the above with a caveat, if you will. What I have noticed in a lot of stores that get liquidated is that they mark the prices up 30%, and then there is a 25 to 40% off sale, because the liquidation company that comes in, gets to take a nice big cut. So what I have done in the past, I've only been to maybe 3 or 4 liquidations. There was a Meijer that was liquidating, a Sports Authority, and a Walgreens once that was going out of business. But what I've done is I've gone in at the beginning and I've said, hey, listen, I'm gonna spend a lot of money. I'm willing to spend, a couple thousand at a go, or I'm willing to spend $1,000 in a go. But I was wondering, is it possible to get an extra discount? And if they say no, then typically I'll say, okay, thanks. I'll walk around a little bit, see if there's anything worthwhile. And if not, then I just leave. Because a lot of times the prices just get marked up to bring them back down. Now, going in later, you're going to have fewer options, but the discounts are going to be steeper. And if you go in again, I still do the exact same thing. Hey, I'm here. I'm willing to spend as much money as I can. I'm willing to spend at least $1,000 or a couple thousand if it's possible. Would it be possible to get a discount on over and above the current discounts that are there? And then there have been people who have bought out entire sports authorities, bought out the entire store, and they got extra discounts for buying out the entire store. So it's all of the above with some caveats. I always go. All they can do is say no. I know some people are not really interested in having those kind of discussions. But if you're helping them clear out inventory, and I would imagine that, I don't know, it might be busy in there. I haven't gone to one, but it doesn't hurt to ask. How to eliminate products that Amazon has ever been on the listing. I'm finding lots of product that Amazon has gone out of stock, but don't want to source as Amazon restocks. The best thing you can do, I would imagine you're talking about Tactical Arbitrage. The best thing you can do there is look at the history graph or look at a Keepa graph, and there's not really a way anymore to see Amazon's been in stock X% over the last 90 days or something like that. So in my Tactical Arbitrage account, let me log into TA here. In my Tactical Arbitrage account, the very first thing that I have in my view data section is a history graph. It's right there in front of my nose, as plain as day. And let me ignore that, and let me go ahead and share this screen So hopefully you guys should be seeing my tactical arbitrage screen. So like this particular item, this would not necessarily be something that scares me. Probably not something I'm going to go deep on, but a product with this kind of graph is not going to scare me. And if we go out to 180 days, it looks even better. But this, if Amazon, let's say Amazon was out of stock, this would be something that I'd probably be like, oh, I don't think so. This, let's see, that's back in March. Let's see something else here. This is great. So this is what I would do, is just look at that history graph. If you see orange in there, walk away if it's not something that looks good to you. This one looks great. So that's what I would suggest. Nothing too difficult there. How do you find 10 profitable items selling every day? Oops, let me unshare that screen here. How do you find 10 profitable items selling every day? So honestly, that should not be that hard. 10 profitable items selling every day should not be that difficult. And here's the thing. A lot of people, and I don't know, we haven't really had this conversation, or there is someone who's been in my email having a conversation with me about what kind of things to buy. And a lot of people want items that I'm going to sell 5 or 10 units every single day. And I don't think that's the way to go, especially not with online arbitrage. I think that you need to be willing to, okay, well, I'm going to sell 10 units of this month, but then I'm going to do that 250 times. Okay, I'm going to have 250 different ASINs, and you should be able to find 10 of those every single day, no problem. And that's it doesn't have to be items that just sell 10 a month, but selling 20 or 30 a month is not bad either. Okay, so maybe you find something that's got a sales rank between, I don't know, let's say 65 and 100,000, 65,000 and 100,000 on a rolling 90-day average. And a lot of people, some people, especially newer folks, are going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy that. It doesn't sell enough. Well, it actually does. It's probably selling, 2 to 5 a day, depending on what category it's in. If it were in the baby category, it's probably not selling 2 to 5 a day. It might be selling 2 a day. If it's in the toys, it might be 2 to 5 or even 10 a day. It's hard to know without your own inventory there. But if you can share the buy box and you're willing, you're buying 10 of every item that you send in, then you should be able to find those on a regular basis. The biggest thing is just having some focused time to do online arbitrage. Whether you're using tactical arbitrage or you're doing manual online arbitrage. If I went to Target today, picked a category, and went through that entire category and searched manually, with enough time, I should be able to find 10 profitable products. Now, the other thing that goes along with this is a lot of people, especially newer folks, they're looking for home runs every single product. And the thing about this game on Amazon is you got to hit more singles and doubles and just let those home runs come to you. Okay, don't force them. So, rather than getting a product that's got a $20 profit and 120% ROI, and it's selling, 50 units a month, or 150 units a month or whatever, get those products that are selling 10 units a month, that are making $3 or $4 or $5, and a 20 or 25% ROI, and get a bunch of those. And those singles and doubles are going to turn into runs batted in, and you're going to win the game that way. All right, let's see here. Did you go through the how-to for Tactical Bucket on Tactical Tuesday? There was on YouTube. I have a Tactical Bucket webinar. I think that I've gone through Tactical Bucket at least once. Yeah, I think I've gone through Tactical Bucket at least once on Tactical Tuesdays, but I also have a webinar just about Tactical Bucket. I think there's actually 2 out there on Tactical Bucket. Just trying to eliminate and automate. So that used to be a possibility, Russell, that you could eliminate and automate items where Amazon has been in stock a certain amount of time over the past 90 days inside of Tactical Arbitrage. But Amazon came in with their heavy hand and said, you need to make these changes, and that was one of the things that had to be removed. So unfortunately, that had to be taken out. Let's see here. I think 2 weeks ago, I can't remember what we did. We may have gone over a little bit of Tactical Arbitrage. I can do that for you guys if you want me to go through some Tactical Arbitrage, maybe a reverse search or something. And then, of course, your questions. Let's see here. Tyler, best words of advice for someone starting retail arbitrage. Okay, there are a couple of things about retail arbitrage that I would suggest. Number one, be patient. I'll get a message that says, man, I went out and I scanned all day today. And I didn't find anything. Didn't find anything I could sell or that was profitable. And then I'll say, well, how long was all day? Well, it was an hour, and I scanned 15 items. So what I would suggest is go to a store, go take a quick look through all the clearance because it's low-hanging fruit, okay? And then pick an aisle. Doesn't matter what aisle. Pick a category that you know that you're ungated in. Maybe it's toys, maybe it's grocery, maybe it's electronics or household items, whatever. Pick an aisle and scan every item in that aisle. After you scan the item, look the item up by the title. So if you've got, trying to think of something, if you're in the aisle with drinks, scan the Dasani and then type in Dasani into whatever app you're using, whether it's a seller app or Scan Power or some other scouting software. See what kind of things come back. You're going to find exact matches. You might find bundles or multi-packs, but take 3, 4, 5 hours and scan everything. Once you do that, go to the next aisle. And you're going to find that doing that, one, not many people do that. I know that even I have a hard time doing it. When I do retail arbitrage, I source a lot at like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and I have a very set pattern that I go through. But when I do this pattern, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm scanning it, and then when that doesn't come up, or if it's not exactly something that I know is a win instantly, then I type in the name of the item and I find more. Okay. The other thing is don't look for those home runs all the time. Make sure you're hitting those singles and doubles. And an item that makes you $3 or $4 is a bunch of those are going to be a whole lot better than finding 3 items that make you $20 a pop. Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with those items that make 20 or 30 or even $50 a unit. Chris, I've heard opposite opinions and curious of yours. Some sellers complain that Amazon seems to be jumping on more listings, but a webinar presenter today claimed Amazon would prefer to be on less. Coincidental bad luck for those sellers? Presenter trying to paint an optimistic picture, or something more fluid in between? I would imagine that it's something a little bit in between. I don't know what Amazon's criteria is for being on a listing. Maybe they only want to be on fast-selling listings these days. And a while back they were doing some things with like Vendor Central and like letting vendors go, telling them they had to turn over to third-party sellers. So I don't know. In my opinion, it makes sense for them to be on fewer and fewer listings because they know that third-party sellers will pick up the slack. However, there are going to be items that move fast that they can A, get better prices on, B, they want to make sure that they keep prices low to keep customers coming back. I would imagine that those people complaining either A, have bad luck, or B, it could be that Amazon hops on a listing because they've got stranded or lost inventory that they're going to sell through because it's sitting there that some other seller dumped on them, or something happened. So it's hard to know. Like we get these anecdotal stories. Oh, well, Amazon's jumped on 20% of my listings. Well, but how long has Amazon been on the listing? Do they have a long history of being on the listing? And then how far into the future have they been on the listing? And maybe it's people not looking at Keepa graphs. Like, I mean, we can tell right in a graph if they've been there in the past, and it's very likely they come back on again. If it's something where Amazon has never had stock, then maybe it's just a fluke. But I'm also curious: are these people who are complaining, have they jumped on like household cleaning supplies listings for Clorox and stuff that Amazon typically carries, and now they're upset? So it's hard to know, but I would imagine that it's something a little bit more fluid in between. I'd love to know who that presenter is. You don't have to say their name here, of course, and whether or not they have an inside track, or if they're just they're just saying stuff to maybe sell something. I don't know. All right. All right, guys. So we got about maybe 15, 20 more minutes. If you guys have questions, please make sure to drop them in the chat. Oh, I forgot to do this at the very beginning. If you're here and you're watching and you appreciate this, wherever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, please do me a huge favor and smash the like button. It helps the algorithm. It'll get this out to more people to see it. Hopefully, it can be helpful for anybody who takes a look. And of course, it boosts my ego a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Can you show us how to read a TA chart? Do you mean a history graph inside of Tactical Arbitrage? If so, sure, we can look through that. While we're thinking about that, let me just go check one place, because there are sometimes some questions that get lost and don't come into my StreamYard here. So let me take a gander. I don't think there's any there. And let me go take a look one other place just to make sure here. Let's see. Oh, I did miss one. Alex said, I love you. I love you too, bro. Let's see here. Can you show how to read a TA chart? Yeah, Joe, let me know if you mean a history chart inside of Tactical Arbitrage, and if so, I'd be happy to go over that. Christopher Cruz, what's going on, man? Good to see you streaming tonight. Been missing out recently. How difficult would you say it is to send inventory into Amazon right now without changing your usual method? Well, I am back to 100% FBA. Oops, excuse me. And Charles has been prepping for me and handling all of that. Him and his lovely wife. And I've had nothing that has been capped or stopped or anything like that. Now, it is taking a little bit longer to get things checked in. Taking just a little bit longer. It doesn't seem to be too crazy. Some of my stuff is kind of going across the country and things like that. So it's been a little weird, but I haven't noticed anything too horrible. So I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with Amazon or with FBA as much as I can, because I'm over MF, man. Can you talk about inventory performance index rating from the Amazon Seller Central website, and what is a good score to have? So the IPI, or the Inventory Performance Index, is how healthy your inventory is. And there are a couple of different ratings in there, but basically you need to keep your score over 400. Once you go below 400, you can have your storage limits reduced, whereas everybody who's over 400 should have unlimited storage. The importance of that score is just to let you know that you're not putting in stuff that's just sitting on the shelves. Essentially, Amazon wants to keep their inventory churning with your inventory churning, because it's no good if it just sits on their shelves. And so there's a lot of nuances in there, but as long as your score is above 400, and that is on a rolling basis, so it needs to, stay healthy on a regular basis to make sure it doesn't dip below that 400. And then every quarter, if it's above 400, you'll get a note that says, hey, you have unlimited inventory, etc. We can go through that a little bit more in depth maybe next week. Do you have an idea when the outsource school bonuses will be coming? They should have been out already. If you don't have those, please shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com, and I will reach out to the guys at Outsource School and double check the emails that those belong to, and make sure to get that taken care of ASAP. Yeah, I'll make sure to get taken care of that ASAP. If you are not a member of Outsource School, which is run by a former $1 million seller and also a guy and his partner who created an 8-figure business, Outsource School is going to be having a Father's Day sale coming up. If you want to really be able to supercharge your outsourcing and building a virtual team to help you with your business, and I'll have bonuses for if you buy through my link. I'll share that in the group later this week. History chart. All right. Are you doing just on Facebook and YouTube? No, I'm not doing any Zoom. I use StreamYard now rather than Zoom, because with StreamYard I can go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. With Zoom, I had to pick one or the other, and I wanted to be able to do both simultaneously without me having to go over everything. Let's see. Let's go over. Let me hide that. Let's go ahead and go over a history chart in Tactical Arbitrage. Sorry, when I'm streaming, my screens always slow down a bit. All right. So a history chart inside of Tactical Arbitrage is not a keep a graph, but is very similar to a keep a graph. Okay. Bear with me just a moment while this loads. Sorry, guys. Always, man, just slows way down when I'm streaming. Is always the case. Probably doesn't help that I have 32 extensions either. I'll let that load for a moment, and I'll come back to it. But yeah, we will go over that. We'll go over that here in just a moment. Do I have a link to the stats you were reviewing at the beginning? Which categories have surged, slumped in the past couple of months? I actually posted that in the FBA Today group, and that actually came from a video that was released by one of the VPs, I believe, of technology or something at Amazon. And that video is actually in the news section of Seller Central. Was just released yesterday. I'm sure it may be on their YouTube channel as well. Although I didn't get a notification on YouTube that they released that. So maybe it is just for sellers. Maybe it's an unlisted video. I didn't look very, very hard. Let's see. When using a prep center, who takes care of the wrong product missing products, damaged products, etc. So the way that my prep center works is I upload all of the items that should be coming to them into an Airtable, okay? And if they receive a wrong product, if they do not get the right amount of products or products come damaged, they let me know in a separate Airtable that has an ongoing list of all the products that are inbound, outbound, and being worked on, etc. If there's damaged products and we're going to return them, I need to get them a return shipping label. If they're missing products, they let me know so that I can reach out to the retailer and let them know. Actually had that happen, I believe, twice with one of my sources over the past week, and I got reimbursed for the missing products. And on any wrong products, again, you'll have to decide. And it may be up like with Walmart. If you get a wrong product, a lot of times they're gonna be like, well, just keep it, we'll refund you. Target does that a lot too. Sometimes they want it returned. And in that case, you'll need to print off a return shipping label, give it to your prep center, and then they'll box it up and send it back. My prep center doesn't, I don't think there's a charge for returns, which honestly is just done out of the kindness of their heart because they've got time and effort into that. So let's see here. I find a lot of items from TA. According to the current price in the last 90-day price history, there was way higher than the 90 days before. How do you do a buying decision on those? Well, you have to figure out if the average 90-day price history, and it depends where you're getting that price history from, okay? But if the average 90-day price history is much lower than the current price, you have to realize that maybe there's a reason. Maybe that product is COVID pricing at the moment. Maybe there is increased demand, and if that's the case, then I would probably buy some to sell and realize that I may take a loss. See, that's the thing about, you can't play with scared money. Okay, I don't want anybody to lose money, but you can't play with scared money either. You got to go into this knowing that you're going to have some wins and some losses. So I will not name the product, but there is a product right now where the price has almost doubled on Amazon. But the sales rank of that has gone from an average of around 45 to 59,000 down to sub 1,000. Okay, so it's gone from selling a fine amount to selling, I'm guessing, maybe hundreds of units per day. Okay, and because of the increased demand, even though the supply is also spiking at what seems to be a fair amount, it's that demand has spiked so much that the increased price is staying. Okay, now I checked it this morning. I checked the same product again this afternoon, and I can see that there is some downward pressure on the price because the supply is going up. Okay, so it's really on a case by case basis. Let's say that maybe Amazon was never on a product, and then they were on it for 30 days, and then they were never on it again, and so they have brought the average 90-day price down, but normally it sells at somewhat close to the 90-day price. There's just so many variables. I'm not sure if it will help you without me looking at a couple of items like right alongside with you. What is Outsource School? Outsource School is a really excellent course and mentorship membership package where you get access to a whole course on how to hire, train, and scale with virtual assistants. There's also courses in there on graphic design and outsourcing, all kinds of things, and all the things that they've done in their own business, marketing, et cetera, and so on. And it's run by a guy named Nathan Hirsch and his partner Connor. And these guys, one, they're intense. Like they know how to run a business. They ran a business and built it up into an 8-figure business, and then sold it for something very profitable for them in the last year, and now they're teaching how to do what they did in any type of business that you have. It's incredible program. What are the specs for your machine, if you don't mind sharing? I actually just bought a new MacBook Pro, which is what I run everything off of. I should have spent more money, but I was not willing to wait because my old MacBook took a dump on me. So I've got 16 gigs of RAM. I've got a 1 terabyte SSD, but it's a 2019 or 2020 MacBook Pro 16-inch with 16 gigs of RAM. In the next year, I'm probably going to upgrade to something with 32 or 64 because it just needs to be there. If we sent a product to FBA short with an item, okay, so your shipping plan was short an item. So let's say you said you sent in 10, but you only actually sent in 9. Amazon will fix that. You might get a warning that says, hey, you only shipped in 9 and, don't do that again or something. But if it's already sent off, don't worry about it. If they say that there's an error, just acknowledge the error and you won't do it again in the future. It happens. They'll probably figure that out. Oh, yeah, Charles is currently doing free returns. Yeah. Let's see here. Can you list your best 5 to 10 recommended categories that newbies are typically ungated for, please? I'd like to focus my searches. Looking forward to the OA challenge. Count me in. I will be honest. I am not really great at keeping track of what is open for everybody. Okay. And the reason being is it seems to be so scattershot among everybody. You may be ungated in toys, but someone who opens an account tomorrow may not be ungated in toys. But then inside of toys, you've got all of these subcategories or brands that are going to be gated. So it's pretty tough. I can tell you what I like to sell, but you're going to end up having to get ungated in things like beauty, health and personal care, and those kind of things. Now, it's not hard. It's not that hard. Matter of fact, if you're going to be part of the OA challenge, there's going to be a grocery ungating guide and a topical ungating guide. So it's really not that difficult to get ungated. You just need to give Amazon what they want, and you can get ungated really pretty easily. And then as time goes on, you're going to get ungated and more automatically. So like over the past week, as I've been doing my own sourcing, there have been probably 5 products that I have been gated for, and I got ungated in all but one of them. Okay. Yeah, MacBook Pro, man, dude, it's such a huge difference. I'm so glad I upgraded. I'm a little upset with myself that I didn't spend a little bit more money and buy. I may give this computer to my wife and end up buying another MacBook Pro with some more power. Let's see here. Dan, no problem. So use the restrictions button then. Yes, use that restrictions button. Absolutely. It's there. It works. It works well. On top of that, I have RevSeller, which is one of my favorite tools. And that also checks restrictions for you, just like the check restrictions button does. But I'm a tool junkie, so it's not necessary, just something extra to have. Oh yeah. Yeah, me and Charles were going back and forth a little bit. I turned on inventory placement, and 196 pounds for 49 bucks. So it cost me a little extra in inventory placement fees, but should get there a little bit faster and get checked in a little bit quicker, I hope. So I'm all about churning and burning that inventory. All right, so I promised that we would take a look at the history chart in tactical arbitrage. Let me get that pulled up. Not sure why it's doing this to me here. Let me do this. I won't keep you guys much longer. We'll go through this history chart. We'll make sure there's no more questions, and then we'll get rolling for the evening. Let's see, add to stream. All right. So in the view data section, we have history charts right here. Okay. I have mine set to 90 days. And what we're going to see here is we've got green sales ranks. All right. And they go up and down just like you're used to seeing on a Keepa graph. Now, a lot of people will say, well, count the dips, and that's how many sales there are. I do not believe that to be the case. Items can go up in sales rank and also be having sales, okay? Items can come down in sales rank and not have any sales. It's a complex algorithm that runs sales rank. So what I suggest that people do is they look at the velocity. Does this product move on a regular basis? Now we can see that this particular product it hasn't been above 42,000. What is that there? Let's see. Sorry, 40,500. Has not been above 40,500 in the musical instruments category. Okay, so the musical instruments category is not a huge category, so this isn't selling like hotcakes. Okay, not like if this were in the electronics category, but we can see that this particular product has velocity. Okay, so this would be something that would not scare me. All right, especially with only 2 new sellers. Now you can click that little green here, and you'll see that the sales rank goes away. We always want to have that on. This orange section, this is where Amazon is in stock, okay? And we can see where they're in stock. If we take away this buy box, all right, and let's take away that for a moment. We can see here that Amazon was in stock for a short period of time between April the 12th and April the 23rd. And then again on May 21st to May 22nd, okay? And we can see where their price was. They're at 166.75 and again at 166.75. If we turn back on the buy box price, we can see where the buy box was. See 166.99, 164.99, 166.75. Okay, we can see that Amazon was at 166.75, but it looks like the buy box was at 169.99. And so on. So you got your blue line for the buy box. This gray down here, this is the number of sellers, okay? Number of sellers goes up and down. You can see here there were 3 sellers, there were 4 sellers, and back over here looks like 1 seller, okay? And so that's really all there is to a history chart. You got your sales rank, whether or not Amazon was in stock or out of stock, the number of sellers, the buy box price, and that's as difficult as it gets. You can do 180 days, you can do 90 days, 31 days, 7 days, or 2 days. Okay, I like to look a little bit. I like to keep mine at 90 days on a regular basis, just so I can see kind of a historical view of it. And once you feel comfortable with these graphs, you can make a pretty split-second decision. This would be something I'd be comfortable selling. I wouldn't go deep on it, especially knowing that it's in the musical instruments category. But I'd buy 3 or 4 and test it out. And if that looks, if that did well, I'd try to replenish it, especially with this really nice steady buy box line here. That's great. Here's a product where historically this buy box price is not really that bad. We can see here where it was a little over 200, and then it spikes up in May. And maybe put one in the home office for Zoom calls or something, and we see now the prices come back down a bit. Okay, this might be some. We can see the demand of this particular. Oh, this makes sense. So kids and people wanting to learn keyboards at home. we can see that, the demand kind of goes away a little bit while people are looking for face masks, etc. And then boom, we got a demand again, like a huge one. Okay, so the price spiked. Then we can see someone came in and knocked that price down $100, but it keeps going back up. Okay, so it's not incredibly difficult to read these. You just gotta once you get a gut feeling for them, they become a lot easier. Let me stop sharing that screen. All right. Just joined Crazy BS at work today. What is this OA challenge about? Will I be able to see this information when I watch this, when you upload this later tonight? So the OA challenge is going to be a 14-day challenge style community, okay? Every day for 14 days, we're going to go live and we're going to talk one topic about online arbitrage for 14 days. And I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring the fire as much as I can. And then after the 14 days, you go out on your own. We've got some crazy good value just to join the OA challenge. You're going to get a month free of Keepa. You're going to get an extended tactical arbitrage trial. If you're already a tactical arbitrage member, sorry, you're not going to get out anything of it. There's a free you're going to get a free book from Chris Green, which sells on Amazon for $99, called Online Arbitrage 2020 and Beyond. Online Arbitrage is one of those books that got me started in this industry. It's always been high priced. Everyone's going to get it for absolutely free. You get 100 units prepped with Charles. I've literally got like $2,000 worth of stuff to give you guys if you join the OA challenge. And then I'm going to make it absolutely epic. And so I should have something ready. I'm just waiting on some guys to fix my my sales page for me because I broke something. So it's gonna be wicked awesome, and you guys are gonna see it everywhere. I'm gonna be talking with Charles about it. He's gonna put in some killer content on prepping and packing. And we're going to do a whole bunch of really awesome stuff. So let's see here. Is 180 days the longest? Can you make it any longer? No, 180 days is the longest that you can put it on there for now. Amplitude, lower amplitude, higher velocity. Yeah, lower amplitude, higher velocity. Is there a way to filter out variations? I don't believe that there is a filter on the front end. I'll have to look into that. Do me a solid, Ted, and maybe shoot me a message or send me an email with that question, and I'll double check. I've never taken the time to figure that out, whether or not there's a filter for it exactly. But I'll double check and look. What's up, my man, Jacob? How you doing, man? I know he's coming to Florida soon. Will the OA challenge be recorded? Yes, the OA challenge it's going to be live in a private Facebook group. So all the information is going to be there for the 14 days. It's going to be in units in a Facebook group. And it will be recorded that you could watch at your leisure, etc. What's the fee for the OA challenge? It's going to be $97. $97 gets you into the OA challenge. It's 14 days, and like I said, we really brought the value. At least I think we did. So I'll have the sales page up very, very soon, and I'll make sure to share it with everybody. We'll go over it, talk about what's there, because I really did try to bring it for you guys for this thing. And again, going to be 14 straight days. Yeah, 97 bucks. It's cheaper than the book. The book is $99 on Amazon. I actually had to buy a brand new copy for $99 so that I could get it to unbox it for everybody live. So I actually had to pay 99 bucks just to get that. So yeah, but we're going to have all that information out very, very soon. What's the lowest ROI you would go for on a non-replen and replen items? Non-replenishable. So here's the thing. Everything is really replenishable unless it's no longer being made. Okay. So there are some items that I've bought in the past when a company was going out of business that I did not expect to get made again. And the company ended up going back into business. And so now everything is kind of, the pressure's back off the prices. Okay. So I'm typically somewhere between 20 and 30% so that I can handle some downward pressure on the price, because that's just what the marketplace does. If the supply goes up, but the demand does not follow the supply, then there's going to be downward pressure on the price to get it back to equilibrium between the supply and the demand. So typically I'm looking for between 20 and 30%. Doesn't matter whether it's a replen or a non-replen item. Now, there are some items where I've replened them as low as 10%, and typically that's below my my numbers. However, this particular item, well, these couple of items, I was the only FBA seller, and I was able to increase the price a little bit and maintain most of the buy box, and no sellers really got onto it with me, except for merchant fulfilled sellers, and these were hazmat items. Bounce bars. That's an oldie. Bounce bars. But typically I'm looking for somewhere between 20 and 30% on a regular item. I'm not going to turn away 50, 100, 200% items, of course. But typically I want somewhere between 20 and 30% return on my investment for items that go out, and that's after all of my fees. That's after my prep costs. It's after my shipping costs, etc. All right, Jacob. Yeah, have a safe flight, man. Down here to Florida. Let's see. All right. So, I think that's all we got tonight, guys. If there are any last-minute questions, shoot them in. If you are still here, please do me a huge favor. Make sure to murder that like button for the YouTube and the Facebook algorithms. It really is helpful to make sure that Facebook and YouTube know that this should get out to more folks. Also, make sure you go to cleartheshelf.com/DIM. Get yourself an absolutely free Google Chrome extension called Does It Melt? It's not going to be free for very much longer. I've said that a couple times, but I actually mean it now. Actually, probably come down Saturday, and it won't be free any longer. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great evening. Hopefully this was helpful for you. We will be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and make sure to bring your questions, your concerns, your thoughts about Amazon and e-commerce, and we will do this all over again. May I suggest a topic? I need to build my skill at split-second chart evaluation. Is there a set of definable variables that you would train a VA with? Just something to start with and build from. Shoot me a message at ARDZ on YouTube. Shoot me a message at chris@cleartheshelf.com with that information, and that's something we could definitely go over. If you guys have topics or questions that you want to ask privately and don't necessarily want to write out in a public forum, you can always reach out to me via Facebook Messenger or email at chris@cleartheshelf.com, and I'll be more than happy to get answers for you guys. V-Stoots, if your doesn't melt is not working, please shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com. I'll get you taken care of. It's usually a pretty easy fix. But have a great night, guys. Stay safe. Make sure to wash your hands. And as always, good selling. I will see you guys next Thursday, same time, same channel. Talk to you guys soon.